All right, look, I will be the first to admit I was wrong. If you're unaware, in the video I made talking about the De'Aaron Fox trade, I said several times that I had no confidence in the Golden State Warriors being able to complete any sort of deal before the trade deadline or any sort of meaningful deal. I thought it was going to be another year of saying that everybody on the roster was available except for Steph, and then trading some random dude at the end of the bench last season. It was Corey Joseph. I thought we were heading for a similar situation here. Well, I was wrong. They actually did it. The Golden State Warriors have traded for Jimmy Butler, and in return have sent away Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and Dennis Schroeder, and a protected first round pick. The exact locations where everybody is going to be ending up is still a little bit confusing to me. Kyle Anderson was supposed to be going to Toronto, and then Toronto is not actually involved in the deal. There's still a lot of questions that I have about some of those players, but the major pieces: Jimmy Butler is a Golden State Warrior, Andrew Wiggins is in Miami. And it was pretty interesting to me that they would even consider doing this deal, because we were under the assumption, or we found out, that Jimmy Butler did not have plans to sign with Golden State long term if we were to trade for him. I think that things sort of changed once he and the Miami Heat realized that there wasn't really a lot of options for him at that point. He originally said that he would rather play for any other 29 teams in the NBA. Eventually that became, I just want to play for Phoenix. And in order for that to happen, the Phoenix Suns would have had to move off of Bradley Beal, which Bradley Beal did not want to do. And so that made any potential deal pretty much impossible, because Bradley Beal was not going to waive his no trade clause for this to happen. Kevin Durant is apparently happy in Phoenix. He does not want to be traded. And so the Heat were basically running out of options. They had said that they did not want this dude on their roster past the deadline, and so they had to find some team that wanted to take Jimmy Butler, and they did. Likely the only way that they were going to be able to do that is actually giving him the extension, or giving him the amount of money in that extension that he wanted, and that's exactly what they did. When they traded for him, they signed him to a 2-year $112 million extension, or $121 million. There have been also conflicting reports about that, which lines up his contract with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green in terms of when they are all coming off the books. This is a really interesting move, because you pretty much swung and missed on Zach LaVine, you swung and missed on Larry Markkinen many months ago, and you couldn't actually get a deal done for Vucevic, even though you had been trying for about the last week or so. You end up with Jimmy Butler, who does provide some of what you're looking for in terms of having another shot creator next to Steph, someone who can also play defense, although, you know, obviously Jimmy Butler being 35 years old is not the defender that he once was. And it's interesting too, because this season is not really an accurate way to properly determine what Jimmy Butler could be providing to this team at this moment in time. Almost every game that he played in Miami this season, he was not taking it seriously. This dude was shooting one-legged standstill threes in the corner, as well as just refusing to shoot the ball entirely on some nights. And so you don't really know for sure what you're getting, but the last time that he was healthy and content with where he was, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, 50% from the field, 41 from 3 on 2 attempts, 86 at the free throw line on 8 attempts a game. The interesting thing about this, there's several key factors to consider when thinking about Jimmy Butler on the Golden State Warriors, which we'll get to the contract situation soon, but one of them is the actual basketball philosophy, which is going to be fairly interesting, because Jimmy Butler is not really known as a off-ball movement kind of guy. That's why you much rather would have gotten someone like a Zach LaVine, or, you know, someone along those lines, rather than someone like Jimmy Butler. But him just being able to create his own shot is going to take a lot of the pressure off of Stephen Curry as it is. I don't think this season is really an accurate representation of what Steph Curry is either. And it's really just been because there has been no other shot creator on this team other than Dennis Schroeder for 1 month, and teams have been able to just load up on him. This is easily the toughest time I've ever seen him have just trying to get open shots off. I think the defense that he's facing is comparable to what he was seeing in 2021, the season without Klay Thompson, with the torn Achilles, the season where we were starting Kent Bazemore, Kelly Oubre that season. I feel like the defensive attention that he's seeing right now is comparable to that season, but he is now 4 years older than he was then. And so he's not able to get to the rim as easily as he once was. He's taking only 6 or 7 twos a game this season, which that number is usually around 10. And that's just because it's more difficult for him to get downhill, partly because of the defensive attention that he's facing, but also just he's 36, about to be 37 years old next month. And so this move, I think, is going to be very instrumental in taking some of that attention off of him. And it's also an indication that the Golden State Warriors are serious about giving him one last chance to actually compete for a title. Now, as it stands right now, I don't think that this Warriors roster is a contender. I don't even think that we have enough players on the roster as it is right now. But they are now turning to the buyout market. Guys like Kelly Olynyk is probably going to be a name to look for in the buyout market. Bruce Brown is going to be another name. But overall, I think this is a move in the right direction, but the money is going to make things tough, I feel like. Even though you're paying Jimmy Butler a lot, as it stands right now, they are still under the first apron. However, starting next season, when that extension kicks in, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green are going to be over 80% of the cap. You're going to be paying Stephen Curry $59.6 million. You're going to be paying Jimmy Butler 54.1, and you're going to be paying Draymond Green 29.9. That's almost $140 million right there. But the issue comes in when you realize the fact that, oh wait, who is about to be eligible for a contract extension? Jonathan Kuminga. JK does have a player option next season of $10.2 million, but he is going to be eligible for way more than that. Are you even going to be able to pay him? Because while you do have his bird rights and could potentially make it happen, that is going to severely handicap your ability to make any future improvements to the roster, any future changes, because you are going to be over the apron. And so that would be my main concern. Again, this is a huge risk, but I do believe that they have the right idea in terms of throwing anything at the wall while Steph is still here. It's just going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. While this isn't the ideal move, I do appreciate the effort that they're putting in. Again, actual basketball philosophy, Andrew Wiggins, absolutely love the guy. There's absolutely no way we win that championship in 2022 without him, and we'll be forever grateful for those 5 years that he spent here. But Jimmy Butler is just an upgrade in pretty much almost every aspect, apart from, at this point, defense and three-point shooting. Jimmy, you can say, is the better playmaker, the better rebounder, the better overall passer, is more reliable as a scorer, because while Andrew Wiggins has really picked it up this season, Jimmy Butler is still Jimmy Butler. Like, there's no way around it. So just having, I think, more reliability in terms of offensive production, I feel like will be a difference. Obviously, the age still is slightly a concern. I'm interested to see the dynamic between Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green in terms of what they're going to bring defensively, and also just as trash talkers as well. I think it's going to be pretty insane having to go up against both of those dudes at the same time. And so that is another thing to keep an eye on. But as of right now, fairly happy with the move. And so I'll probably have more to say once Jimmy Butler is actually playing. He is not set to play until probably Saturday. We will see what is bound to happen then. We may have a couple new players by that point. And so everything is kind of just up in the air right now. But the fact that they even did this, again, pretty telling about their actual mindset when it comes to building around Steph Curry. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell to be notified when I upload. Comment down below what you want to see next. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.